Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining today's VetNet. My name is Cassandra Osika, and I am the Alumni Services and Engagement Manager for the Daniello Institute for Veterans and Military Families. Today's VetNet, we're going to go ahead and focus on how to start selling on Amazon Store, Part 2. In this second installment, we are joined by Abby Malchow, who is the Manager of Small Business Partnerships and Education at Amazon, and she will provide information on the types of resources available for growing and expanding your business once you've begun selling on Amazon. So thank you again for joining. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Abby for her insights.
Awesome. Thank you, Cassandra. And I think everyone can see my screen. Can you see the right screen? It's hard for me to tell.
Yes.
Are you seeing it in presentation mode? I just want to make sure it's in presentation mode.
Yeah,
Okay.
presentation.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I have a new laptop, bit of a learning curve here. So hi, everyone. We're going to talk about how to start selling an Amazon store part 2. The first installment of this was recorded for anyone to be able to go back and watch on demand. Highly encourage you, if you do need to revisit some topics, to definitely check out what we've already recorded from last year. But without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So my name's Abby. For those of you who don't already know me, I've been at Amazon over 5.5 years. I have a ton of subject matter knowledge as it relates to selling in the store, as well as all things small business, because that's what I've been doing my entire time at Amazon. So again, as I go through this content, feel free to ask as many questions in the chat as you want. I will try to get to those questions at the very end. And then I am a retired Navy chief. So for those of you who are military, yeah, I spent over 20 years in the Navy and I am a retired chief. So I do have a couple chief moments. I will let you know that sometimes I do have a couple chief moments. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about what the target audience really looks like for this presentation. Word of caution, this content is a little bit more advanced than what we usually talk about when it comes to selling in the store. So the ideal audience for this is someone who's probably already selling in Amazon store. You don't have to be an expert. Maybe you just set up your account last week, or maybe you've been selling on Amazon for a year or two. I just want to call out that this content is a bit more advanced. And then I obviously too, if you're not already selling in the store, you're more than welcome to obviously be in this session today, but just understand that this content is a little bit more advanced. And it's really designed to help set you up for growth in Amazon store. So let's take a look at our agenda today. We're going to talk about account health and why that's important. We're also going to talk about product detail pages. Product detail pages are very, very important for increasing your conversion. Then we're going to talk about advertising, which is always a very popular topic. Outside of advertising, what can you do to improve your discoverability? Then we're also going to talk about the importance of customer reviews and how you can grow your customer reviews. And then for those of you looking to really optimize and streamline your logistics, I'm going to cover a few logistics solutions that Amazon provides. And then I'm going to talk about global selling, because if you're looking to grow as a small business, you're probably going to start selling outside of the US at some point, or you're already selling outside of the US. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then at the very end, I'm going to share some additional resources we have so you can go and learn even more about this content. All right, let's talk about account health. This is very critical. I actually just had a seller reach out to me this past week with concerns about one of his account health metrics. I will call out that I cannot provide account specific support. However, I can provide general guidance on how you can improve your account health. Why is account health important? Well, account health is important because if you don't have good account health, that could deactivate your listing. It can suppress your listing. It can also deactivate your account. So you just want to make sure that you are monitoring these metrics and understanding these metrics on a regular basis. The first metric that you should probably keep in mind is your order defect rate. This is the percentage of orders that lead to a bad customer experience. Okay. Then you also want to keep in mind late shipment rate. That one's pretty self-explanatory. Very important to keep to ship your orders on time. I can't emphasize that enough. You do want to keep this metric under 4% as your target. Cancellation rate is also pretty self-explanatory. This is the percentage of seller canceled orders over a 7-day period. I do want to emphasize seller canceled orders over a 7-day period, and you want to keep this under 2.5%. And then valid tracking rate is also pretty self-explanatory. You just want to make sure that you're shipping your orders with accurate tracking information over the course of 30 days. You want to make sure that this is high, so 95% or above. And on the next slide, I will show you how you can monitor your account health. So when you log into Seller Central, you can just go to your account health dashboard. And as you can see here on the screen, it's going to show you where you stand in terms of your account health. If you are not in, you're falling outside of what is considered the recommended range, you'll be able to understand why. You can click on that and see what you can do to improve those metrics. Again, you just want to make sure that you're monitoring this so you don't risk deactivation. All right, let's talk about product detail pages. So why are product detail pages important? Because if you go to a product detail page and there's not a lot of images, and there's not a lot of detail regarding the product, this is likely not going to want you to purchase that product. So the more you enhance your product detail page, the better it helps you with increasing your conversion. The first way you can do that is, let's say you have a product that has different variations. These variations can be anything such as color, size, scents, flavors that you offer to shoppers. When you go on a product detail page that has variations, as you see here on the screen, the customer is much more likely to stay on that page a lot longer than without variations. And please keep in mind, this is not me trying to say, hey, you should probably offer variation. This is just me communicating how you can communicate your variations to optimize how long people stay on your product detail page. So with product variations, again, it just improves the shopping experience for the customer, which again increases your chance of converting. So how does that work? So this t-shirt that you see here on the screen, that's going to have a parent ASIN. ASIN is the acronym that we use at Amazon, which is an Amazon standard identification number. It's going to have a parent ASIN. It's going to be the placeholder listing that houses all of the different variations. So you just want to make sure that you're linking those variations that you see here to the parent ASIN. And that's how you do a variation. So very common on Amazon. You can also create bundles, but again, it just really helps people stay on your page a lot longer. Another way you can enhance your product detail page is through video. Many of us already know that video is becoming ever more popular as a way to consume information. So if you do want to add video to your product detail page, chances are that's likely going to increase your sales by up to 9.7%. Customers do want video when they're shopping on Amazon, and there are a lot of products that are really good fit for video. For example, like clothing products, anything that requires assembly, but people just want to see how that product is going to be used, what it looks like through video, because sometimes pictures don't always tell the full story. With video, you can use existing videos from your social media platforms. You can also use existing video from your brand websites, and then you can just upload them to your product detail page. Another thing that I like to make people aware of, which a lot of people don't know about, is Amazon posts. So kind of think of this as like Amazon's version of Instagram. It's a really fun and engaging way to get people to interact with your products. This post that you see here on the screen, this seller actually recently participated in an event we did in Denver with IVMF, and he's the owner of Bird Street Bistro. He actually only shows posts on his brand store to get people to interact with his brand. And I find it really compelling. And why? Because you see a lot of imagery, you see how it relates to the specific product that he's trying to communicate. But I find it to be a little bit more interactive than just looking at pictures of the product, right? So think of this as lifestyle images. This is social media like posts to help people transition from browsing to buying, as we say. Now, what we have seen with posts is there's in the US, they will have a 2.5% higher purchase rate. So again, this is just a really great way to just get people to interact with your brand more through lifestyle imagery and social media posts. Another really important way you can improve your product detail page is through A+ content. I'm going to talk about the three different forms of A+ content we have. But the first that I'm going to talk about, which will be is basic. Okay. So basic is really straightforward. You go in Seller Central, they're going to have some templates and modules that you can choose from to help you build out your A+ content. And what this does is it helps enhance your product description. So when you go to a product detail page, you go to the product description portion. A lot of people just have text. So, but with A+ content, you can replace that text with imagery. And obviously with imagery, that's a much more compelling way to communicate your product and your brand. So just look at this as a nice way to enhance your product description. It's becoming ever more popular on Amazon. I do want to call that out. But what we have seen with A+ content is can help increase your sales by up to 20%. So this is the basic. We also have premium. So once you've done basic, you're going to graduate to premium. Premium is a lot more advanced. It's going to incorporate video. There's going to be like a navigation carousel. Navigation carousels are all the rage now. I actually just worked with our social media team who uses navigation carousels on LinkedIn, and those are super popular as well. They typically see a higher click-through rate and a higher impression rate. And it also allows you to do a hotspot. A hotspot is like, let's say I'm hovering over this guy who has the headset. There's going to be a little hotspot on that headset where I can then click on it to then go to the product detail page for the product, right? And then you can also do Q&A through A+ Content Premium. I find that to be really compelling to really learn more about the features of the product compared to other products, as well as learning more about the brand. So this is premium A+ content. There are qualifications to have premium A+ content, as you can imagine. You must be brand registered. You must have an A+ brand story published on all your brand owned product listings. And then you must have at least 5 A+ content project submissions in approved status within the past 12 months. So if you meet the criteria, you will see a banner within the A+ content manager that will let you access A+ content premium. So I know it may seem a little overwhelming, but again, just keep in mind, people typically start off with basic A+ content, then they graduate to the brand story. Brand story is very important as well. And then they do A+ content premium. So this is something very common with obviously the more advanced sellers, but very effective in helping you increase your conversion. All right, let's talk about advertising. So one key metric you should keep in mind when it comes to advertising online, if you're not already familiar, is cost per click. Cost per click is really how most online advertising works is going to be the total advertising cost divided by the number of ad clicks. So for example, as you see here on the screen, if an ad costs you $50 and you got 500 clicks after spending $50, your cost per click is 10 cents. So it's a very easy metric, just your total advertising cost divided by the number of ad clicks. But it is important to keep this in mind. Why? Because most of the advertising on Amazon is cost per click. So the most popular way that people advertise on Amazon is through sponsored products, which you see here on the very far left. This is when you're just promoting the individual product. So again, I want to promote this teddy bear. People click on it. You're going to pay for whatever people click on. Another really good way to advertise on Amazon is through sponsoring your brand. So when you look at search results, the very top of search results is always going to be the sponsored brand at the top of the page. And then under the sponsored brand is going to be the sponsored product. So the sponsored brand is really cool because you can use videos, you can showcase multiple same products. What I want to call out here is they have to be same products. So if you're selling hot sauce, but you have it in like 3 different flavors, you can totally promote all of those 3 flavors in the same ad. But if you're selling t-shirts and shoes, you can't do that in the same ad because they're different products, right? So it does have to be multiple same products. And you can also use custom headlines and images. A little bit more advanced way to advertise is what you see here on the very far right. That is sponsored display. This is where you can reach people on Amazon as well as off of Amazon. This is a real sponsored display ad that we got after we met with the owner of this company. So what's really cool about sponsored display is it's going to be based off people's shopping interest and behavior. So, for example, the internet already knew that I was interested in this brand or in this product. And because they already knew that I was interested in this product, naturally those display ads are going to populate, right? Now, with sponsored products and sponsored brands, those are all keyword driven. So sponsored display is a little bit more effective because it also targets people based on their behavior and shopping interests. Now, with sponsored display, you do pay for cost per 1,000 viewable impressions, as well as cost per click. Now, once you decide that you want to advertise or you're already advertising, just keep in mind there's a couple ways you can target your advertising campaigns. My recommendation is if you're just starting out with advertising, to always run an automatic campaign. This is going to be an algorithm that Amazon has, which helps you select keywords, helps generate new keywords for you. So I always recommend let Amazon do the hard work for you in the very beginning. And this is obviously going to be optimizing your bid at the keyword level, right? Once you've run your campaign at the automatic campaign, you're going to know what keywords people click on the most based on the results of your campaign. Once you know what people click on the most, you can then run a manual campaign. A manual campaign is where you decide what keywords, right? And that's very important because you are able to optimize this yourself. And it also helps you control your ad spend a lot more. And it also has a higher click-through rate because it's accurately targeting your customer, right? So that, again, that's very important. Oops, I went a little too fast here. So just keep in mind, if you're just starting out, do the automatic. But as you get more sophisticated and you know what keywords to bid on, definitely do manual. Helps you save on cost. When you are creating your advertising campaign, this is what the hierarchy is going to look like. It's very simple. So you have a product that you're selling, let's say it's a coffee. It's at the top. You pick which product you want to advertise. From there, you decide what campaign do I want to do? Do I want to do an automatic campaign? or do I want to do a manual campaign? So again, the biggest difference here is automatic is where Amazon decides the keywords for you. Manual is where you decide which keywords you want to bid on. So let's say you decided to do a manual campaign. From there, you're going to select which keywords you want to bid on. So broad, I'm going to get into a little bit more detail on the next slide what this means. This is broad is really going to be how can I get my brand out there as much as possible. Phrase is a little bit more specific. An exact is I'm looking for this exact product. This is the keyword that I want to use that to match to the customer looking for this exact product. And with exact, you have a higher likelihood of converting. So I'll explain what that means on the next slide. So let's say you're selling Clinique face wash, right? So you can choose which keywords that you want to use for your campaign. Broad, like I mentioned, is just face wash. So when I go on Amazon, I type in face wash. I don't really know yet what kind of face wash I want, right? I'm just looking for new face wash ideas. So the good thing about broad match is you're going to get the highest potential traffic, but because it's the least restrictive, it may not convert into a sale. So just keep that in mind. Let's say I'm on Amazon, I want face wash for acne. I'm going to type in face wash for acne. I'm a little bit more specific in what I'm looking for. And because of this, you're much more likely to drive consideration for someone to purchase your product. Now, let's say I only want Clinique face wash. I'm going on Amazon, I type in Clinique face wash. I'm much more likely going to purchase Clinique face wash because I'm pretty mature in my purchasing decision, much more likely to convert. While this is a very restrictive keyword phrase, it's going to be extremely relevant. And because of that, it has a higher likelihood of converting into a sale. So you can use all three, you can use one or two, you can mix it up. But just keep in mind, you do want to control your ad spend. It's easy to let that ad spend get out of control. Now, another way you can help optimize your ad spend is through negative targeting. It's very straightforward. So there's 3 ways you can do negative targeting in your advertising campaign. Let's say that I'm selling tennis shoes on Amazon. I do not want to pay for running shoes. So when people type in running shoes, you want to make sure that you're preventing your ad from displaying when a shopper types in running shoes. So keyword is one way to do the negative targeting. Another way is product targeting. So this is at the ASIN level. So again, prevents your ads from displaying when the ASIN of a product page matches your negative target. Another way is through negative brand targeting. This one's pretty effective as well. Let's say that I'm selling Converse running shoes, only Converse. As you can see here, the shoe is not a Converse brand. It's a different brand. So I want to make sure that my ad does not display when someone is looking for this specific brand. So this is very important because again, it helps you optimize your campaign and minimize your ad spend. I see people spending, I've been working with sellers my entire time at Amazon. I see people spending so much money on advertising to not really get the results that they want. It does take a lot of trial and error. I will call that out. It's not going to be perfect the first time you do it. It takes a lot of trial and error, and it really takes being able to understand and interpret the data. I cannot emphasize that enough. Definitely analyze that data. How do you do that? There's a couple KPIs you want to keep in mind that to really measure the effectiveness of your advertising campaign. A very common one is your return on ad spend. We call that ROAS. So ROAS is literally just dividing your total ad revenue by your total ad spend. So let's say you're advertising for shoes. You made about $325 on those shoes through your ad campaign. You spent $44 on the ad campaign. You got a 7.4 return on that. Okay. So the thing with ROAS is the higher, the better. You always want a high return, right? ACoS, advertising cost of spend, is just the reverse of that. So it's going to measure the profitability of an ad campaign. So it's literally just measuring your total ad spend by your total ad sales. And of course, with the cost, you want that to be low. And with the return, you always want it to be high. So pretty straightforward KPIs to keep in mind to analyze your campaign. Now, outside of advertising, what can you do to improve discoverability? I will say everyone's like, how do I get discovered on Amazon? How can I stand out on Amazon? And you're going to see that it's really a wide variety of factors. A really great way to help increase your discoverability, increase conversion is through promotions and coupons. I know personally for myself, if I'm looking for a product and I don't really care what brand the product is, I just literally I just bought potting soil over the weekend. I didn't care what brand of the potting soil it was. I just wanted the cheapest potting soil. So if I'm going to see potting soil that has a coupon, chances are I'm probably going to purchase that potting soil. For people who shop on Amazon, they're not really looking for the brand first. They're always looking for the product. So being able to run a promotion or a coupon is really going to help you increase that conversion. There's a couple ways you can do this. So you can do percentage off, such as 10%. You can do money off, which is probably the most common that I've seen, such as like, hey, $5 off. You can do buy one, get one free. I will admit, I haven't seen buy one, get one free very often. And you can also do free shipping. Free shipping is important because keep in mind, there are a lot of Amazon customers who are not Prime members. So to lure people in who are not Prime members, it's always good to offer them free shipping. And you can select the discount you want, the budget, and the offer duration for up to 90 days. It cannot be longer than 90 days. Another really cool way to increase discoverability is subscribe and save. This is a really common for consumable products. So let's say I sell protein powder, coffee, anything that's going to be grocery, health, a beauty product, or baby care. A subscribe and save is very effective. I imagine for those of you in attendance today, maybe you already do subscribe and save because you're purchasing these products on a regular basis. But this is just giving savings to your customers to get them to keep buying your product on a regular basis. What is really cool about subscribe and save is it allows you to forecast your sales. So for example, you already know that you're going to make a certain number of revenue based on the total number of subscribe and save customers you have. So for forecasting your cash flow, this is a really great way to do that through subscribe and save. And of course, the customer gets a discount if they sign up for subscribe and save. Another way you can promote your product through offering a discount is lightning deals. I recently worked with a seller in Boston who sells these custom mugs, and she makes most of her sales through lightning deals, believe it or not. So she doesn't get a ton of traffic to her product detail page. But when she does a lightning deal, she makes a ton. She really makes up for it through lightning deals. So lightning deal is kind of what the name implies. It's like a flash sale. So it's only going to be available for a few hours. And best deals are going to be a little bit longer than that. So you can do it for a certain number of days, but there's two ways to provide it. You can do lightning deal for a couple hours, or you can do best deals for a couple of days. Keep in mind that there is a huge subset of Amazon customers who go on Amazon.com and literally only shop on the deals page. So some people, when they shop on Amazon, they just go to the deals page, and that's how they shop, right? So deals is very important. There is eligibility requirements. You have to be a professional selling partner. Your product must be in new condition. You do have to have a minimum of 5 ratings a month. You must have at least a 3.5-star seller rating. You must have at least a 4-star product rating, and you must ship through fulfillment by Amazon to be eligible for this. Now, we recently had Prime Day. Prime Day is kind of similar, but there is more eligibility criteria. But for those of you here, the Prime Day is super effective in really getting visibility out there for your brand and increasing your sales. So Prime Day, we have had them twice a year, sometimes once a year. It's hard to predict anymore. Amazon changes every 5 seconds, but with Prime Day, you know for sure it's going to happen at least once a year, and it's usually always in the summer. There is eligibility criteria to participate in Prime Day. Again, you must be a professional selling partner. You must have at least one review with an average rating of at least 4 stars. And the discount must be at least 20% off of its regular price. So when you are shopping for Prime Day, you are getting at least a 20% off the regular price for it being sold on Amazon. You do have to ship through fulfillment by Amazon or seller fulfilled Prime. And the Prime exclusive price must be lower than the lowest price for your product in the past 30 days. So just want to call out the eligibility criteria. And then if you are going to participate in Prime Day, just make sure that you advertise on and off Amazon that you are participating in Prime Day. Another great way to improve your discoverability is there is a lot of people who shop on Amazon that want to purchase from a small business. So you can get the small business badge. We do follow the Gartner definition of what a small business is. Over 60% of the sellers in our store do meet that criteria. And you can see here that the badge is right there on the product page. Again, we have a ton of people who want to shop from small businesses on Amazon. Another thing that I always like to call out, especially when I have a military crowd, is to go to support small, amazon.com/support small. We do have a military family small business storefront. I actually helped create that storefront back in 2019. So if you are certified as a veteran or a service disabled veteran owned business, make sure that you're adding that diversity certification to your Seller Central account, because if you add it to your Seller Central account, you'll automatically be added to that storefront. It's very important because we have no way on our end to identify who is selling on Amazon that is a veteran. So if you are looking to find other brands on Amazon that are veteran owned, definitely check out that storefront. We also have another really cool way to find products from small businesses. This is super easy. It's a search filter. You just type, let's say you're looking for teddy bears, you type in teddy bear, you go to the menu on the left-hand side, you click small business, and all that's going to populate in search results is teddy bears made by small businesses. So another really easy, effective way to find products from small businesses. All right, let's talk about reviews. We're doing pretty good on time. Why are reviews important? Well, you kind of just saw in the previous slides, reviews are very important, especially not just the quality of your review, but the volumes of your reviews as well. So there's a couple best practices for making sure that you're getting customer reviews. If you want to get that 4-star and above review, you just want to make sure that you're communicating as much accurate information as possible on the features and benefits of your product. You can also request a review within Seller Central. So once anyone makes a sale, you can go in, and after they've received their package, and then you can request a review. Again, Amazon takes reviews extremely seriously. So you can't, for example, have your family member submit a review. You have to be very careful in how you ask for a review. For example, you can't say, hey, give me a 5-star review. No, it has to be completely unbiased because, again, Amazon takes the reviews very, very seriously. The integrity of our reviews is super important to the customer experience. Just know that you can definitely request them, though, within Seller Central. And outside of requesting them in Seller Central, we have a really cool program for those of you who are brand owners. I do want to emphasize you must be a brand owner. You can participate in Amazon Vine. This is where Amazon Vine voices, we call them, they leave reviews for your product. You just give them the product for free. Now, with Vine reviews, this can boost your sales by up to 30%. And you can get as many as 30 customer reviews per product page that you have. There is, of course, eligibility criteria. So you must be enrolled in brand registry within 6 months of selling in the store. And then from there, you do want to enroll right away into Amazon Vine. I will call out though, let's say you've qualified for Vine, and then 2-3 years later you launch a new product. You can still participate in Vine if you've launched a new product. We just want to make sure that they're capturing your eligibility the minute you sign up to become a seller. So you also must provide the product in new condition. And again, can't be an adult product, digital, or heavy or bulky item. This is what an example of Vine review looks like. And you're probably like, why is this important? Because, well, the quality of the review is very important because Amazon uses its most trusted reviewers to participate in this program. So let's say you're someone who shops on Amazon, you leave very detailed reviews, you leave reviews frequently and often, you're probably going to be a Vine voice. What is really cool about this program is there's always going to be positive feedback as well as negative feedback. The negative feedback is very important because you may have a blind spot. You may not know that this is a feature people don't like. So you can use that negative feedback to really optimize and enhance your product. So as you can see, these are very detailed product reviews. All right, let's talk about the supply chain. Amazon does have quite a few logistics solutions to help you in optimizing your fulfillment, your distribution. For first and foremost, we have Amazon shipping. Think of this as like a service such as UPS, FedEx, something of that nature. With Amazon shipping, Amazon's going to pick up the orders at your warehouse and then deliver them to the customer for you. So it is basically what I just told you, a shipping service. The benefit to Amazon shipping compared to other larger shipping services is there is no residential surcharge. Often you'll see that UPS and FedEx will have residential surcharges, and there's no weekend delivery fees. And for those of you who are fulfilling yourself, let's say you're not fulfilling through Amazon. Amazon shipping is an important program to keep in mind in order for you to meet the on-time delivery rate requirements. So just a shipping service to keep in mind for those of you who fulfill your orders yourself. We also have our partnered carrier program. This is a pretty commonly used program. What it does is it's going to, you're shipping through UPS, for example. Amazon does have a partnership with UPS at a pre-negotiated rate, and then they're going to then ship your product to a Amazon fulfillment center. So it's just a easy way to get your product to an Amazon fulfillment center at a negotiated rate. So it just helps you save cost. And again, because it is pre-negotiated rate, it allows you to save up to 25% in cost compared to other alternatives. This is a very frequently used program. Now, another program that I like to call out, one of the common complaints I get from sellers is, hey, I'm getting a ton of fees from FBA because of storage. You want to minimize your storage fees as much as possible. And when you're just starting selling in the store, you're not going to know like how much inventory do I need. It's going to take you a little while to figure out your inventory levels, right? So in order to save costs on storage, we have Amazon warehousing and distribution. This allows you to have a cheaper storage option if you're an Amazon seller. And it's going to be basically warehousing this in a large Amazon warehouse. So what's really cool about this is you can automatically replenish into fulfillment by Amazon. So let's say I know that my peak season is going to be on holiday. I'm going to sell probably 80% more on holiday. What I can do is I can have that extra inventory in an Amazon warehouse, so I'm paying less cost. And then as I get closer to holiday, I can then replenish from the Amazon warehouse into fulfillment by Amazon. So again, it allows you to have 80% less in storage rates compared to storing everything in FBA. Because it's all about saving cost. And from there, you would also consider multi-channel distribution. How multi-channel distribution works, it's pretty straightforward. It's going to send your inventory, your bulk inventory. Let's say you sell your product in Chewy, let's say you sell it at Target store, you sell it in different retailers and wholesalers. What this is going to do is going to ship that product to all of those different wholesalers, B2B, and other locations outside of Amazon. And it allows you to use a single inventory pool to stay in stock across all of your different sales and fulfillment channels. So you always want to streamline your supply chain as much as possible to minimize costs. So just keep in mind that you can do that through multi-channel distribution, especially if you're selling through different channels and retailers. And multi-channel fulfillment. So, when you think about supply chain, it's always going to be distribution first. How do I distribute the product? Then how do I fulfill it to the customer? Multi-channel fulfillment is basically multi-channel distribution, but then getting that product to the customer. How does it work? So let's say you sell on Shopify, let's say you sell on Etsy. It's going to take all of those orders, fulfill all of those orders through your one inventory through Amazon, right? So Amazon's going to pick, pack, and ship those orders for you, no matter where you got those orders from. It's a really great way to streamline your fulfillment. I see sellers using this all the time. And of course, it helps you in maintaining those on-time delivery requirements too. So how does it work? Like I said, let's say you sell on Shopify, let's say you sell on Etsy, or you sell on social media. It's anytime someone places an order on one of those sites, you can then use your Amazon multi-channel fulfillment to then deliver that to your customer. So just think of it as a 3PL service because that's essentially what it is. And you can use it to fulfill any order on and off of Amazon. And as you see here at the top of the screen, I'm going to talk a little bit about Buy with Prime and what Buy with Prime is on the next slide. So Buy with Prime, let's say I have a website, I use it on Shopify. I'm just using Shopify as an example. I can use Buy with Prime. So Buy with Prime is when someone goes on your website, they can still purchase the product, but get that Prime shipping, as well as look at the Amazon product reviews. So it gives customers that Amazon shopping experience, but on your own website. So I'm going to show you on the next slide how that works. So what is really cool about this program that I do want to call out, when someone makes a purchase on Amazon.com, you're not going to get that customer data, right? But if they make a purchase on your website through Buy with Prime, you are able to get that customer data. And why is that important? Because you can then market to those people directly. So it's a really great feature to keep in mind. And it also helps you increase your conversion by 25% on average. And here's how it works. So I'm selling this candle. I click on the Buy with Prime. From there, I log into my Amazon account, place the order, and then I know I'm going to get it in that 1 to 2 days. So just a really cool way to give people the Amazon shopping experience, but on your website. All right, we are kind of running short here, so I want to make sure we're going to breeze through the rest. If you do have questions, make sure you're popping them in the chat. Let's talk a little bit about global selling. Global selling is pretty straightforward. Amazon has a global selling program. Please make sure if you are interested in global selling that you take a note of this URL here, because there's a ton of helpful resources on that page to help you in whatever geography you're looking to expand to. There is a ton of helpful resources on that page. People are selling online more and more, so it's very, very common. Okay, here is where people are selling. So we have our stores outside of the world, around the world. Just keep in mind that the UK and Germany are our largest stores outside of the US, and that Japan is a massive growth opportunity because it's the world's third largest economy. And then we also have stores in more emerging marketplaces as well, such as the Americas and the Middle East. And if you are looking to manufacture in China, which is very common, a lot of people manufacture in China, just keep in mind that Global Logistics, Amazon Global Logistics, will help you ship that from China into the Amazon Fulfillment Network. Matt Butler actually uses this program. For those of you who are familiar with Matt Butler of Rollers, he actually uses this because he does manufacture in China. But this is a really cool program to keep in mind if you want to manufacture in China. All right, let's talk about some additional resources. We're going to breeze through these pretty quick. We have a service provider network. Why I want to call this out is because a lot of people want to know, how can I get someone to manage my account for me? Well, Amazon has a service provider network. These are all vetted by Amazon. They have proven experience working with Amazon sellers. Just keep in mind, there's tons of different services you can contract through the service provider network. If you're looking to learn more about selling in our store, we have Seller University that is available within Seller Central. They also have a YouTube channel. There's also seller forums where you can connect with other peers. And I will call out that every September, we have our Amazon Accelerate conference. This is a huge conference that Amazon has for selling partners. It's virtual and in person in Seattle. Very common for a lot of sellers to go to this conference because you'll learn a lot. And we always announce new product features and program features every single year at this conference. My team, we also manage the Amazon Seller Success Series with SCORE. We dive pretty deep into different topics. If you're looking to learn more from my team, this is the URL. Just type in Amazon Seller Success Series with SCORE, and we cover a wide range of topics, as you can see here. And then I do want to call out Launchpad. It used to be a totally different program, and then it came back, and I want to call out invite only, and it is for brand owners as well. Because it is invite only, there are very unique benefits to this program. They give you account management support, which I couldn't emphasize enough as being amazing. You can run ads on freebies, you can get different discounts, be showcased in different collections, but it is, like I mentioned, invite only. So what does that look like? A couple criteria. You do want to make sure that you do have a professional selling plan. You must be selling an Amazon store for less than 2 years. And what they're really looking for is brands with substantial growth potential. So just keep in mind that your social media is important because it's organic growth for you, right? So you should always be promoting your company on social media organically. So they're going to be looking at your social media and your growth potential. If you want to learn more about Amazon advertising, which I would recommend for anyone who doesn't, have an advanced knowledge of Amazon advertising, we do have a help page, which is super, super easy to use, video driven, topic driven. We also have a certification that you can get, which is at no cost, which will really help you become proficient in Amazon advertising. And then finally, we do have Amazon Lending. I've worked with quite a few sellers over the years who are have used this program. You will be able to check your eligibility for this within Seller Central, but this is just simple, easy financing with third-party providers where Amazon will give you a loan with those third-party providers, and then you repay that loan through your Amazon sales. Very simple, easy way to finance. And here's just a quick snapshot of our partners, IVMF being one of them. But as you can see, my team and I, we work primarily with nonprofit organizations to be able to provide sessions such as today's. And before we dive into Q&A, I do want to make sure that everyone scans this QR code, and I will make sure that I get the link here in 1 second. Please complete this survey. We completely revisioned and enhance this topic. So I'm eager to hear if you hate it, if you love it. Please, I'm a military veteran. You can be as honest with me as you like. Share with me your feedback. And here is the link. And then with that, I think we have 10 minutes for some Q&A.
Thank you so much, Abby, for all those great nuggets of information. You touched on a lot of topics related to distribution, advertising, discoverability, so insightful. So thank you so much for that. I do see one question in the chat, and this question is, how do you get the small business Amazon badge? I think you may have covered it, but yeah, that was one of the questions that I saw in the chat.
Yeah, if you go to the support small page, you'll be able to apply for the badge there. Sometimes Amazon will automatically give it to you. But if they don't automatically give it to you, you can still apply for it because chances are you're going to meet the requirement.
Perfect. And then I think Pearl has a follow-up question. So how do you get invited to the Pearl, or sorry, to the launch pad?
Yeah, I kind of talked about that as well. Pearl, again, they're going to look at quite a few things. You have to be a pretty new seller to Amazon. You have to be selling for less than 2 years. You have to have a pretty substantial social media following. And they're also going to be looking at they're going to look internally at your potential for growth. So, they're going to be looking at, oh, let's say you grew in sales by, I'm just using this as an example, 300% year over year. Chances are like they're going to be looking at high growth brands such as that they know that they can coach to a certain amount.
Awesome. And then Abby, I also have another question for you. So is there a way to get, someone or a group training and or information session to navigate these programs and resources regarding small business topics? And I think that follows to the Amazon Small Business Academy, but do you happen to know of like any other resources our grads can capitalize on?
Well, specific to selling in the store, I manage the Score Seller Success Series. So that is when we're going to dive into, for example, we have webinars just on advertising. We have webinars just on supply chain. So I definitely recommend checking out the Score Seller Success Series. For those of you who are looking for pretty advanced content on selling in the store and you're already selling in the store, Seller University is your best bet. My team and I, we go to their webinars all the time. They're topic driven and they always bring in a program expert to manage the Q&A. But again, it's topic driven. Amazon Small Business Academy, that's more general business education. So for example, I'm looking to learn how to file for a trademark. I'm looking how to create a business plan. That's a really good resource for just general business education.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Abby. And I think those were all the questions, but if anyone has another question, feel free to drop it in the chat. But I do want to mention, so aside from Amazon Small Business Resources, IBMF also does a deep dive into trademarks, like you mentioned, Abby, other legal funding type services. So if you are an IBMF alumni interested in learning more about that, please do let us know. Our email, I'll go ahead and drop it in here into the chat. We can just consult with you, just review where you're at within your business, and then help you navigate to those resources. But aside from that, I do just want to thank you so much, Abby, for all of these insights that you've shared with us. We will be following up with an email this afternoon containing the YouTube video link so you can watch on demand. We're also going to follow up with all of these great links shared by Abby. And then, like I said, if you all have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Um, but Abby, I do want to extend a heartfelt thank you to you. You've shared so many great insights. And like I said, if anyone has a question, don't be afraid to reach out to us. We're here for you.
Yeah, and I was
Um,
just gonna say I did pop the link into the chat. Please complete that survey. You can be as honest, like I said, you can say I hate it, it's awful. We understand that this content can be a bit advanced if you're just starting out. So in order for us to really optimize the content, we do need the feedback. And I am happy to also share that my team and we do a ton of IVMF events as well. Our next one is going to be in Massachusetts in October. You'll see my team and I there. So if you're local to Massachusetts, be sure to come to that event and connect with my team and I in person. But yes, and you can also connect with me on LinkedIn as well. I only make special exceptions to the military community and helping the military community. So if you are a veteran looking to learn more about selling on Amazon or just looking for advice about your business, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn as well. So
Awesome. Thank you, Abby. So as Abby mentioned, everyone, we'll be following up with some links. And then thanks so much for that survey link, Abby. I'll include it in that follow-up email as well so you all can provide your feedback. But again, thank you, Abby. I really do appreciate it. And thank you all for joining today. Have a great one.
thank you, Cassandra. Thank you, everyone. Bye.